This video series is another part of the video series seeking to investigate Karl Marx's Das Kapital. This video will obviously be exploring Das Kapital Chapter 2, in which we analyze some conditions necessary for exchange to occur. Now, there's some obvious conditions that are required for exchange to occur, namely that people must own commodities, and this ownership implies some sort of implicit or explicit recognition of property rights. So this could either be legal codified laws that would be explicit, or people just sort of implicitly trade things and they assume ownership over these commodities. But this leads to some less obvious things, namely that on the market you become a representative of your commodity. Since obviously the commodity cannot go to market on its own, it requires you, the owner, to exchange it. You become representative of the commodity's value. And this is actually a rather important theme throughout Das Kapital, is that people are only personifications of economic relationships, as far as their appearance on the market is concerned, of course. But yes, you come to represent the value within the commodity and judge for yourself the value of the other commodities in order to trade and exchange them. Another thing is that the commodity that you are bringing to trade obviously has no use value for you, because if it did, you would not be trading it. It is not a use value to you. It is only a use value to you only as far as it is an exchange value to you. So its only use for you is that you can exchange it for another use value that you would rather have, obviously. But with exchange, there are some problems with simple bartering. There are obvious problems of temporal and spatial issues, separation of time and space. If you have darts and you're trying to trade for an ear of corn, the person who owns the ear of corn may or may not want darts, so you could just be out of luck. So there's issues like that, and we've already sort of explored the solution in Chapter 1, and the natural solution is money. Money is a natural consequence of simple bartering and generalized commodity production, capitalism. But money requires certain properties to actually properly function as money. Namely, it must both be uniform and divisible. Each piece of money must be indistinguishable or relatively indistinguishable from the rest, and it must be divisible insofar as it can properly represent different magnitudes and proportions of value, and so on and so forth. And we explored in Chapter 1 that money becomes the universal equivalent to all other commodities, and so money is the representative of all of the value, all of the abstract human labor in society. And that's actually pretty much it for Chapter 2. It was a rather short one, so Chapter 3 should be a little bit longer.